Good afternoon to you. We will today continue with the constitution class. In the last class, we have seen the financial powers or financial control of parliament over the executive. In this class, we will see what are the electoral powers and judicial powers of union parliament. Electoral powers in the sense Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both are involved in the election of president and in the election of vice president. That is electoral powers. Then judicial powers, both the houses are involved in removal of president, vice president and other dignitaries. That part we will see separately. Two parts we are clubbing today. We have already seen under Article 105 of the Constitution, the Union Parliament has number of privileges collectively, and also the members of both the houses of Parliament enjoy individual freedom. We have also seen that both the houses of Parliament put together has the powers to expel the members of the house for any misconduct, and also even send the strangers and the members to imprisonment for their misconduct, for contempt of Parliament or breach of privilege. These have been elaborately discussed and it is given in Article 105 of the Constitution. Apart from the Parliament as a collective institution, have distinct powers as electoral body as well as judicial institution. As you know, in the case of election of president under Article 54 of the Constitution, both the houses of Parliament, including the legislative assemblies of all state legislatures, including Delhi and Pondicherry, are converted into electoral college, and the members of Parliament as well as the members of legislative assemblies, in their capacity as members of the electoral college, elect the president. Remember, in this process of election, the political parties cannot issue any whip because the role of the members of the Parliament or assemblies is only to elect the president. Here they are members of electoral college. Here they are not members of the Parliament or members of the legislative assemblies. Their role is only to elect the president. So, in that capacity, they cannot have any whip. No whip can be issued. This is under Article 54 of the Constitution, remember. Secondly, both the houses of Parliament under Article 66 of the Constitution are converted into electoral college for the election of Vice President of India. Here again, the members of Parliament of both the houses of House become the members of electoral college, and they obtain the powers to elect the Vice President. Here also, they function as the members of electoral college, and obviously no whip can be issued by any political party in connection with the election of Vice President. Coming to the judicial process, both the houses of Parliament joined together removes President of India under Article 61. Remember, under Article 61 of the Constitution by a process of impeachment. For what for? For violation of Constitution, and the proposal being initiated in either House of Parliament after giving 14 days notice, supported by a resolution signed by minimum 1/4 of the total number of members of the House of their intention to move such a resolution. The resolution should be passed by both the houses of Parliament, by super special majority. In this process, the members of the House are not members of the Parliament. Instead, they are members of jury to give judicial verdict. So, no whip can be issued. Here the point you should remember is only for violation of Constitution, the supportive resolution by 1/4 of the total membership of the House, it can be initiated in either House, and it should be, the resolution should be passed by both the houses by super special majority, that is 2/3 of the total membership of the House. So, this is under Article 61 of the Constitution. In the case of Vice President under Article 67, he can be removed from office at the initiative of Rajya Sabha. Underline, at the initiative of Rajya Sabha after giving 14 days notice, but no reasons to be cited. No reasons need to be cited. The resolution being passed first by Rajya Sabha by absolute majority and then as agreed to by Lok Sabha again by absolute majority. Please note, there is no need to cite any reasons nor any need for initial support of the members for moving the resolution. Here also, the members of both the houses of parliament are members of jury. Accordingly, no whip can be issued. So, this is Vice President removal. Both the houses of parliament have also the powers to remove the judges of Supreme Court, including Chief Justice of India, and also judges of the High Court under Article 124 of the Constitution and 127 of the Constitution respectively by passing a resolution by special majority, that is absolute majority plus two-third majority of the members sitting and voting in both the houses of parliament. So this is removal of judges of Supreme Court and High Court. Secondly, both the houses of parliament have also the powers to remove Comptroller and Auditor General of India under Article 148 of the Constitution in the like manner and the like grounds as that of judges of Supreme Court. This is under Article 148 CAG. Then comes similarly, both the houses of parliament have the powers to remove Chief Election Commissioner. Underline Chief Election Commissioner, alibi Chairman Election Commission under Article 324 of the Constitution in the like manner under like grounds as have been provided for the removal of Judge of Supreme Court. Please note, underline, please note that the members of Election Commission or election commissioners or regional commissioners do not enjoy this protection of involving parliament in their removal because they are removed on the recommendation of Chief Election Commissioner. Then Lok Sabha has also the exclusive privilege, remember, exclusive privilege under Article 94 of the Constitution to remove the Speaker from office after giving 14 days notice with no reasons being cited through absolute majority. What is the article number? 94. Similarly, Lok Sabha has the exclusive powers, remember, exclusive powers to remove Deputy Speaker under Article 94 after giving 14 days notice through a resolution being passed by absolute majority with no reasons being cited for their removal. This is Article 94 again, and this is for Deputy Speaker Lok Sabha. Similarly, Rajya Sabha alone, underline Rajya Sabha alone for obvious reasons, has exclusive powers to remove Deputy Chairman under Article 90 of the Constitution from office after giving 14 days notice by absolute majority with no reasons to be cited for the removal in the resolution. Now, thus, most importantly, the Parliament has the exclusive privilege of electing President, electing Vice President, removing President, removing Vice President, removing Chief Justice of India, removing judges of the Supreme Court, removing judges of the High Court, removing CAG, removing Chief Election Commissioner. In the case of Speaker and Deputy Speaker, Rajya Sabha is not involved for obvious reason. So also, in the case of removal of Deputy Chairman, Lok Sabha is not involved. So, these are all the judicial powers of Parliament. So, first we have seen the electoral powers, then we have seen the judicial powers. You may not have seen such a detail in any other book or any other lecture. This is the, in nutshell, the removal of the various dignitaries. That is why the topic I have given, Parliament is the potential impeachers of constitutional dignitaries. So many dignitaries are removed by Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha put together, and they elect most important dignitaries of president and vice president both together. So these are all the judicial as well as electoral powers of parliament. Now, I have promised in the earlier class that we will take one or two items which are relevant in the current affairs of Indian polity. Today we will take Comptroller and Auditor General. Comptroller and Auditor General. CAG was in the news with reference to an observation made by Supreme Court in connection with the Rafale fighter aircraft deal. CAG observed that the report they have furnished is redacted report. Redacted report. What do you mean by redacted report? Redacted report means the aircraft pricing details. That is, redaction is a adoption by removing sensitive information from a document prior to publication, which is done in public interest. As a result of this, the commercial details relating to the pricing of the aircrafts were withheld, and the procurement details have been removed from the figures relating to the procurement details have been removed from the report. The question is in public interest, and it has been upheld by the Supreme Court. Now we as a student we should know what is redaction, why CAG was in the news, in what connection the redacted report was given, whether there is any precedent of providing redacted report earlier, is it the first report, such a report? These details we have to see, that we will see in the next class. Thank you.